Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time for Nate. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, randomness, out of the blueness, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. It is best to request just one thing at a time so that I don't get too overwhelmed. But I really do appreciate it. It could be for pretty much anything. But Nate, this time he's requesting The Human Shield, which some say came out in 1991, others say 1992. I may put 1991 just for the sake of argument. It was directed by Ted Post. Ted Post directed my favorite Clint Eastwood film, Magnum Force. Now this is part of Canon Films, and I think at this time either Golan or Globus, one of them I don't think was with the company anymore, because I think that started around 89, give or take. Canon Films is a company I grew up with quite a bit. I love a lot of their action films, from the stuff they did with Chuck Norris, like Invasion USA, some of the stuff they did with Charles Bronson, like Death Wish 3. Michael Dudikoff stars in this. He did American Ninja 1 and 2, Avenging Force, all films I enjoy, my favorite being American Ninja 2. They did help release Cobra with Stallone in theaters, as in there was a Golden Globes. They were on the credits, although that was more Warner Brothers. Cyborg, I'm a big fan of Cyborg, so quite a few of theirs that I like. Sadly, what really hurt them was trying to be bigger than they were. When they were doing films like Revenge of the Ninja or these low-budget action films, they were doing okay. But then they tried to go for the home run with Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren, Superman 4, Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone, and I love Over the Top. I think Over the Top is a very underrated Stallone film. But sadly, that, Superman 4, the He-Man movie, they bombed badly. They lost Canon Films a lot of money. They tried to get to be the big studio because they wanted to be another Warner Brothers, another all sorts of other studios, Universal, Paramount, and they flailed because of that. But then when they went back to lower budget films like Cyborg and Bloodsport before that, they were big hits. Again, if they had continued on that trajectory, maybe they would have helped. Now, they did make films in the 90s, but they were just not being as successful as they could. Most of them, not all, but most of them were just coming straight to video. You had The Human Shield with Mann Rubin here. It would not be the last time Dudikoff worked with them. The last time would be this film, Chain of Command, which is another film where Mann Rubin deals with the Middle East. Oh, I think this film is much better than this one, because this one, to me, is a lot more action-packed, is a lot more entertaining and fun, while this film is very mediocre at the end of the day. I would say it's not my favorite Dudikoff movie, but if you want a Dudikoff movie in the Middle East, I think this one is a lot more fun and just a lot more action-packed. That's just me. And this would be the last time Michael Dudikoff worked with Canon Films. And this is around 94, which was Chuck Norris did a film called Hellbound. And I think Hellbound might have been the last Canon Films picture. I could be wrong, but because Street Night with Jeff Speedman was 93, and that was around the end of Canon Films. And if someone wrote a book about all the Canon Films, but they did that documentary, Electric Boogaloo, which Fabio Italiano told me an interesting story, because he and Mike OCP interviewed the director Sam Furstenberg. Bear with me, I'm talking about Canon. They interviewed Sam Furstenberg. It's on Fabio's channel. It's about 3 hours long. Boaz, Fabio Italiano, and Mike OCP talked with them. I couldn't, because I wasn't sure what to say. Plus, at the time, I didn't have the phone. Now that I have the new device on my phone, I probably would have joined. But I didn't have that, and my internet was at work. It just would not be possible. Fabio mentioned to me that Sam Furstenberg, when the documentary guys talked to him, they wanted him to say bad things about it. The Electric Boogaloo were purposely telling people, shit on Canon, tell us you're crazy, you shit on them. And Sam Furstenberg's like, no, they treated me well, and I'm not going to do that. So, I understand, when people go, whoa, you don't like that documentary, what, just because they're honest? I'm like, yeah, it's fine with being honest, I get that. But the door swings both ways, and then when you find out, lo and behold, I had a feeling. Guess what? The gut feeling was right. They purposely wanted people to shit on them because the Electro Boogaloo was made by people that they're not fans of Canon. They just know there'd be stories that people make fun of it for entertainment and to release it out there. And that's what happened. So, lo and behold. And yeah, they did bad things. They're not saints and they're far from perfect. But I genuinely enjoy a lot of their movies as well. I genuinely enjoy Cyborg and Death Wish 3 and Invasion USA and The Delta Force and Hero and the Terror and Hellbound and Street Night and film like Chain of Command, Bloodsport, among others. Now I know I'm 6 minutes in, I haven't gotten to this, but I just want to give a little bit of Canon Films. Some Canon Films talk. Always loved their logo. That's one of the logos I remember the most as a child. Now, the Human Shield, I think this is one of the more mediocre ones. And Michael Dudikoff, I do like as an actor. I know I don't have the Human Shield. It was on YouTube. I don't own it because I don't really like it. It's not a rant, but like this one, that's Michael Dudikoff, the American Ninja himself. And I think he worked well for what he had to do. He had screen presence. He had a look. He had a cool vibe to him. His dialect would be a bit of Clint Eastwood. Maybe a tad of Steve McQueen. Man, I love that Clint Eastwood coolness. Where he worked. He worked well in American Ninja 1 and 2 and Avenging. He worked well in his films. I know Canon Films, he worked with them a lot, which some say hurt him in the long run. Because they just looked at him as the Canon guy, and oh, who is he? Because after it, I mean, he would do other films. He was in Bounty Hunters, which I remember not minding them, especially the first one. And then I know he did like a Western, Soldier Boys with a Z. Which, by the way, there's a PC video game of that, which I did not know. Yes, there is a PC video game of Soldier Boys with cutscenes and I think footage is just for the game. Just type in Soldier Boys PC game, you'll see it on YouTube. But he did that, which I remember not minding. It's a lot better than Hot Boys with a Z. But yeah, Bounty Hunters 1 and 2. I forget what else he did afterward. And then he disappeared for a good chunk of time. I'm surprised no one brought him back to do other films. He was in something called Navy SEALs vs. Zombies, but he didn't get to fight zombies. He was just some guy at base talking into a headset or something. So I'm like, well, that's lame. I'd be open to seeing him come back and, but whatever. The Human Shield, Michael Dudikoff's character, he sees, it's supposed to take place in 1986, 85, give or take, where training Iraq to fight Iran, and Michael Dudikoff comes across innocent people being bombed, and there's this awkward zooming, where it's like zoom, and then zoom, and then zoom, and it's just very awkward. And Dudikoff doesn't like that these innocent people got bombed, has a fight with the bad guy. Bad guy's trying to cut him. He's messing up with the bad guy, but ultimately he gets knocked out because of the other people. Then you cut to 5 years later, and you're going, well, wait a minute. Why didn't they kill Michael Dudikoff's character off? Well, you find out later in dialogue why that's the case. But 5 years later, he's off doing his own thing, and his brother, who's a diabetic, has tried to get on a plane, but he's been taken hostage. Now, at the Pentagon, which we tried to find out there's a gym, because the title literally says, Pentagon Gym. They say there's nothing we could do. Michael Dudikoff is like, screw that, I'm going to do it myself. Goes to Jordan. Meets with an old flame. This girl he used to like, but she is married with the bad guy. You later on find out she did that so that Michael Dudikoff's character could live. And there's not a lot of action in this. The few bits that are there are okay. This is a bit of a car chase where he's in a Jeep dodging rockets and gunfire. He'll throw grenades behind him. 2 or so Jeeps blow up, flip over. That was kind of cool. There's one bit where these 2 guys on motorcycles chase after him. He knocks one off. There's an explosion. And they're not that eventful, though. They're not as exciting as Canon Films has done in the past. Invasion USA, Delta Force, these of that nature. You can definitely tell the budget has been squashed a bit. But like I said, I found more action out of this, and this came out after this. So I just wasn't really that interested in the story. None of the other supporting characters I felt any intrigue. I don't think the acting was that great. The wannabe villain had a very fake accent, trying to be Middle East, trying to be Iraq. Everyone wants to be a fake Saddam Hussein, if I learn how to say it right. It's like, we need everyone that kind of tries to look like Saddam Hussein. I'm like, you know what? The guy in Hot Shots Part 2, right, he was supposed to be portray Saddam Hussein. He did a better job. Now, granted, this guy is supposed to be Saddam, but everyone trying to look like him. And just a very fake accent. Like, the villain, I thought was very poor. He was not intimidating. He wasn't scary. And I thought the guy, he could not do an accent to save his life. The supporting actors, they were very blasé. They were very boring. The love interest, yet again, very mediocre in terms of acting. You get a little bit of gunplay, a little bit of squibs. Like, at one point, he gives himself up, but the bad guys kill this group of people anyway, because they're assholes. But then he's able to escape, beats a few up. I did a little bit of fun gunplay, practical squibs, these little explosions that mimic gunshots, because there are some people who don't know what squibs are. And a whole lot of not much happens. Talks with the girl explains why she did what she had to do, where she married the bad guy so that Dudikoff could live all those years ago. Saves the girl from this assassination attempt of her being strangled. Dudikoff beats the hell out of him. They go to this factory, and that's where the girl's kid is at. That's where Dudikoff's brother is at. The brother, they cut to him, not a good actor. Like, very wooden. Wait, you know my brother? If it's between my brother, if you know him, why do you have me here? Just, that's the thing, the plot's not that interesting. When there's no action on the screen, there's nothing to invest in terms of story, in terms of plot, in terms of characteristics, in terms of personality or dumb fun or anything of the sort. And that hurts the pacing, and the action is very limited. So if you're going into this for a lot of action, you're not getting a lot. Like I said, you get a little bit of a chase scene, a little bit of stuff with the motorcycles, a little bit of gunplay, and a little bit of this factory where that's where the entertainment comes into play. Because Dudikoff does get a bit more gunplay in that. Gunplay squibs. He shoots up this control panel. At one point, just a knife in the leg. And you find the bad guy isn't really much of a fight. It's pretty much just a struggle fest. Stabs Dudikoff in the leg. He throws stuff, blinds the guy's eyes. Kind of throws the guy burns up. You know, nice stunt, guy on fire. Then dies. Also, to give credit to Dudikoff, there's a bit where he's running out of the factory and you see the thing explode, and he's in camera. Like, he's here, and the explosion's here. The fact to show that, like, the explosion's with him in camera, that's still dangerous in any front, because you never know what could happen. But, like, any little bit of the love story, you didn't really feel much of a chemistry between the two. The score, the musical score, did nothing. In fact, sometimes it felt out of place, or just wasn't that polished of a musical score. So yeah, I find this a rather mediocre film. Michael Dudikoff, he tries the best he can. I like him as an action star. The few action beats are there, well handled enough. But like I said, when you got American Ninja and American Ninja 2 and Avenging Force and even, you know, Bounty... Is it Bounty Hunters or Bounty Trackers now? I'm trying to think. It's Bounty Hunters or Bounty Trackers. I forget the name. I want to say it's Bounty Hunters. Like, those were better. In my opinion, Platoon Leader was better. I would even probably rather watch Soldier Boys than this. Like I said, if you want Dudikoff in the Middle East, this gives a bit more of your action bud to hit the spot a bit better. And this is directed by David Worth. And you have people like Arlie Ermy in it, at least. Here, there's no other actors I recognize. It's very low on the totem pole of Dudikoff stuff. Is it my least favorite? No, that would go to stuff like Crash Dive and the one he did with Billy D. Williams, Human Target, whatever. Just very forgettable stuff. I put this above them. Just here, at least, like I said, a few of the action pieces are fine. There's a little bit of decent gunplay. Like, you know, at best, it's a time waster. Maybe below average, mediocre, in that realm. Like maybe 2.5 out of 5 star, like that realm of. But it's not full on rant or anything. You do a lot worse, you do a lot better. If you're big into Dudikoff, you need to see all of his films. Sure, again, he's done worse later on. But in this realm, you're like, wow, this is a step down, at least for me. Like I said, if it had more of an interesting story, or if it had more of colorful supporting characters, or if it had more of a pulse-pounding score, or more action set pieces, or like a intimidating villain, like anything to spice it up. But it doesn't. And for Ted Post, this is a big step down from Magnum Force, which is again, my favorite Dirty Harry film. That's where he deals with the dirty cops. I mean, you think of even the beginning musical score of Magnum Force, and the thing with the gun, that has more style than anything in this movie. So yeah, very mediocre film. There's a lot of Dudikoff. This is not my first choice to go into if you want to get into Michael Dudikoff. I would go American Ninja 1 and 2. That's the way to be introduced to him. But anyway, with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.